Hello and welcome to another episode of Drift. Today we are going to stay a little closer to home. We're just going to be collecting resources, kind of building up our storage of certain things, as well as building on our base. It's going to be a little bit of a construction episode, so I'm kind of excited. Due to time limitations, a good portion of this episode is going to be sped up. Certain parts here and there, places where I feel like the pace of it's rather slow, or we're doing something fairly mundane, or we're just out there chasing asteroids. So just a note for that. But yeah, so let's get started. Day 7, orbiting an unknown planet as always. And first things first, we're just going to take a look at our inventory, see what we've got on us, and kind of organize our thoughts from there. In the last episode, we made ourselves our propulsion pack, so now we are relying on batteries as opposed to oxygen. That's always nice. So yeah, we don't have the slingshot aspect to our, what would you call that? Tractor beam. So we're just going to have to kind of push ourselves there. I start heading towards these faint signals, but I feel like they may be too far away for me right now, so I decided to just head back home. And I miss an asteroid. And I almost miss another one. But I luck out and see a faint signal right here, some advanced technology that was actually really close to home, so I decided to go for that one instead. Just grabbing a couple rocks on my way back. Filled up my storage so I couldn't crush them yet. I'm just going to take a look at our research. The two exploration multi-tool both require crystals, and that requires us to go out exploring into the cosmos to find crystals. And we have the technology to do that. We have the ability to do that right now. But today we're just going to stay close to home. There's no need to kind of push forward and get those technologies just yet. So now I'm going to go searching for materials, but we're going to be looking at these big asteroids. And as you can see in the top right, I am collecting ice from that one. And you can collect 500 pieces of ore from any of the bigger floating asteroids. There's another faint signal over here, so I'm just going to go ahead and aim for that. And once again, not paying attention to my food, so we have that little vignetted border on our screen. And this asteroid is giving us copper. And another faint signal. So we're just going to go ahead and pick them up because we seem to be getting quite a few of them. And while we don't need to grab every single one because we can make our own advanced materials, but you know, if they're there, the opportunity presents itself, might as well take it, especially now that we have enough resources that we're not going to risk dying out here and losing all of our stuff. Because one thing that is important to note is when you die, you do lose your propulsion pack and your tractor beam, so you will be back to using oxygen in your RCS pack unless you build yourself another one or go rescue yours. So in this asteroid we're getting a bunch of iron, which is good. We're going to be using a lot of iron coming up soon. And as you see, if you fully deplete an asteroid of its resources, it breaks apart quite spectacularly. And a little bit of carbonite, which we don't really need. Some copper, which we definitely don't need. I don't know why I filled my inventory with it, but there you go. Sometimes you do weird things out here in space. And look at that. Almost completely filled our storage with iron. And it looks like our batteries need more ingredients to complete the next round of battery making. It's always good to just have your batteries just consistently being created, 'cause you're gonna use them. Go. I went ahead and ate 2, and that filled me up and cleared my screen. Made things a little bit nicer to look at. And so once more going out into the asteroid field looking for materials, this time looking for silicon. And once again grabbing a bunch of copper that I'm not going to be able to keep. I'm going to end up having to use all this copper, turning it into wiring until I fill that chest as well. And then hopefully we'll find a use for all that wiring. Alright, grabbed a little more carbonite. Carbonite is actually useful to stock up on. Until we can get an oxygen generator inside our base, we're going to constantly be needing to replenish our oxygen. And here's some silicon. So go ahead and delete some stuff to make some room for it. Alright, so let's put some stuff away real fast. So now I need to figure out something to do with all this copper. Like, I can fill up this again, but as I grab these 4 copper wiring, I realize I'm still gonna have a lot left over. And we're gonna just crush a bunch of carbon and turn that into oxygen. When I say oxygen, I'm talking about carbon filters. That's just kind of my shorthand for it. Alright, so yeah, so for Landmarks, we need blue crystals and pink crystals. For this one, we need pink and orange crystals. Not doable. But lighting we can do. All we need is some silicone powder, some iron sheeting, and some copper tubing. Copper wiring, excuse me. Looks like tubing. So I have no metal sheeting there, so I go and look in every single machine except for the one that's making it, and I realize I don't even have one making it. So go ahead and just crank out a bunch of iron plates from there. Then I decide I should have some chests for the powdered silicon and the powdered carbonite, because then I can store twice as much as both of those if I just turn them both into powder, and I can store extra. There we go. And I just throw some extra storage just at each crafting machine, just to have in case I need overflow for something, or if I'm trying to build something in a project and I don't want to keep going back and forth with materials. Just helpful. And some more nutrient paste to get rid of the hunger image notifier, whatever you want to call it, the vignette. And crushing some more carbonite to keep our battery production flowing. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, I just let my cursor hover here on trash, on a useful item like the battery. Don't know why. I didn't even realize it until I was looking back over the footage, but I thought that was kind of funny. There we go. So now we put in the ingredients for the lighting research, and in a couple minutes we'll know how to build all sorts of different stuff to light up our base. And you wouldn't think that we would need it. You can see from the screen right here, we can easily see everything that we need to. And it's not exactly the pitch black of night, but we're in nighttime above the planet. So you would think, you don't really need lights. But once you start adding the lights and you see what a difference they make, you'll be glad that you did. So yeah, look at that. Almost completely filled with wires, and I still have a ton of copper to go through. So now we're just going to expand out our base a little bit, because we're going to want to put some walls on here. But we don't want to have our walls be the very edge of our ship. We want to have like a little bit of a wraparound porch area, so that way we have a landing zone when we come in from floating through space. We can have something to stand on and regain our control of gravity before entering into our base. Alright, so I need to grab a little more silicon and a little more metallic plating. There we go, our research completed, and we now know how to make an assortment of lights. So go ahead and take all the copper out of there and just decide to store it in that chest. Alright, the next thing we can unlock is for some decorations that will also be useful in, I mean, just, they're not really useful, but you know, they add to the overall look of the craft. And currently I'm in a utilitarian only state. You know, the only thing I really want to spend my resources on are my crafting materials and the crafting stations and the smelters and stuff. But eventually I will make this place a home, and we will look it through all those decorations and really kind of come up with something fun and unique. So now I'm going to be looking at putting some walls up, having our base protected from the stray asteroids that want to just come through and bother us. And eventually, when we can unlock the oxygen generator, like I said before, we're going to want to have walls to keep all that oxygen inside. Like, look at this. Look at this guy. What are you doing? Just slapping down some walls. They don't need to have windows on them because they're just hugging the crafting machines. So now I need to grab a little more silicon, and then rather than just going out and trying to find a big old rock and hoping that it's silicon, I've just decided to specify using my little bot, my little drone. I don't really talk about the drone very often. It doesn't really add or hinder anything in our gameplay, so it usually doesn't come up. But yeah, we have a little drone that helps seek out certain resources for us. There might be more usage for it later down the line, but as of right now, that's just where we're at with it. It just kind of hovers around you. So it took some ice, make some water, take some iron plating. And then I instantly forget that I crushed it, and I thought I couldn't find my crushed silicon, but that's just because it looked like an asteroid to me. We're gonna need to build one of these crushers soon because if we're wanting to maximize the efficiency of our harvest, the crusher is the best way to do that, as you get the most resources for each asteroid with the crusher. So we have the ability of making one right now, so let's go ahead and plop that down right about here. There you go. And then all we got to do is open it up, add our asteroids in, and that will crush it into the appropriate materials. So now we don't have enough to build the second one, but we are definitely going to want to create a second one. So let's go ahead and see what we need. We need a couple more silicon wafers. And the reason why we want a second one is because it can also crush silicon and carbonite into their crushed versions of it at a much faster rate than we can do by hand. And so we're going to have one dedicated straight to asteroids. There we go. Have enough silicon plates now. We're going to have one dedicated to asteroids, and we're going to have this one that's dedicated to smashing down the carbonite and the silicon. So let's go ahead and put some stuff away. I put the silicon plate there, forgetting that we already have a spot for it, so I will eventually move it, but for now I just have a stray chip. Alright, so now that we have more silicon, let's go ahead and finish putting up these walls. I love the sound of placing these. That thunk. It's very, it's a good sound. So now we're going to want to make a little bit of glass because we're going to want to have some windows here. We don't want to just box ourselves in. You see how fast that's crushing? Wonderful. So let's go ahead and make some glass. And let's check on our batteries. Could use a little more water. There we go. And pretty soon we're going to be stocked up on all sorts of things. We're going to have a chest full of batteries. Oh, so yeah, the Tractor System Mach 2 and the Tractor System Bypass. Both of those are within our reach. And both of those are going to be goals to work on pretty soon. So now let's go ahead and put our window right here. I'm going to make it black to match the walls. That looks nice. I like the way that looks. And see out. Remember that you're in the field, because once I put a roof on this thing, we're not going to be able to see out unless we actually exit. So then I come down and I put my window there, but then I realize our original floating light, the one that was part of the original wreckage that we found ourselves on, is attached back here and not on that plate up there. So I'm going to have to come up with something else. And so then I realize I should probably put doors here because I don't have any way of getting out once I put that roof on. It takes me a couple seconds to think of the best way to do it. Then once I do, I go ahead and remove our research station. And then I'm going to place it back here. Then I'm going to go ahead and get myself the silicone necessary to put the doors in place. Yeah, I just need a couple silicone chips. Silicone wafers, excuse me. Yeah, when you have a machine that's just constantly cranking out batteries, you can fill up a chest really, really easily. There we go. Once we got the wires in there, our battery production can resume. Go ahead and eat a nutrient paste. Clears our vision again. We go ahead and get a green floor ready because we're going to start working on the top. But I still need a few more resources, so I'm going to go out here and look for some more silicon. So that's iron, which we can use, so I might as well grab a bunch of it if I can. That's copper, which we don't need, so we go ahead and trash it. Some more iron. More copper. So then I decide, let's just grab some of the small asteroids. We have a crusher now, so we can make the most use, get the most resources out of it. And here's some silicon. So let's go ahead and mine this for everything we can get it out of it. I'm gonna throw a little bit of that iron. And let's just head right back to our ship. And just throw our handful of asteroids in there. And let's throw some of that to crush up, because I'm sure we're gonna need that. And then we store the rest of it. Store our iron. Store our plates. And our water. And our crushed silicon. That chest is almost full. Alright, so now we're ready to make the doors. So we take blue to match with the blue of the research station. We'll go ahead and close that up. And now we have a way in and out from this floor to get inside or outside the craft. Looking more like a base and less like just a floating platform with some stuff on it. So once again, I select the green floorboards, try to attach it as a roof. Then I put this one down and I realized the smelters are a little too high, and these are actually the shorter versions, so but yeah, they're too high, they clip into the floor. I don't like that, so we're not going to have it that way. Just needed to get a few more resources before continuing on. And we're just going to build our floor all the way across and a little bit of a balcony. There we go. So we've got the starts to a roof, but because of the smelter's height, we are going to have a vaulted ceiling here. So rather than just capping it off at what you see, we're going to put some doors up here and have another access point to get in and out of our base. I want to do them orange so they're easy to spot from afar. But that is all the silicon we have right now, the silicate that we've got. So we're going to have to go out and get more of that if we want to keep building more walls. So I went ahead and made another chest, put it white, so that way we now have a place to store glass. And just putting away all the extra materials in my inventory. And yeah, let's take one last look at our creation. It looks great. And in the next episode, we're going to do some more resource gathering and some more base building. And I think we might even do a little bit of exploring, if I remember correctly. But I will be seeing you in that episode. So for now, this is where I'm going to leave today's. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're looking forward to more Drift. I am loving this game, so I'm looking forward for more as well. If you did, please consider giving me a like, drop me a comment, let me know your thoughts, and I will see y'all in the next one. Take care.